community. And since we're playing standard mode, Uncle will provide us with a weapon in V29, but it's not always a sword. There's only a 2% of getting a sword. Other weapons could include, for example, the fire rod, a hammer, a bow and arrows, and a cane of Samaria, and another cane as well. And it seems like we're off. So what weapon do you want to see today, Vitesia?
Well, I always like to say I like to see bombs to start out with. Not necessarily because bomb strats are pretty, though they can be. It's because the difference between the start of people who have done bombs, between people who have practiced bombs and people who are just kind of, freelancing it, people who haven't practiced but are just going with what their knowledge of game mechanics, it's night and day. You can't just do a bomb opening and not practice. It's a good minute and a half difference through escape, which is a lifetime through there. So I always like to see those bomb strats to see who has really started out and done the practice. But I'm disappointed. Instead, we get the bow, which is probably one of the best openings you could hope for.
Yeah, that's definitely true. One of the most easier weapons to work with. And Clifford already getting a bomb drop right there and picks up the cane of Samaria. This is pretty hype.
Absolutely. PHatHome also picks up that bomb. So these guys are going to be rushing through here. We're going to see some very, very fast strats here to get through the entirety of the escape sequence. You have a bomb. You don't need to farm anymore. You don't really even need to kill anything else. At this point in time, it's just a matter of making sure you get through as quickly as possible. We might see some sub 6 minute times here from these two runners.
Yeah, that could very well be the case. All of these guards just die from one single arrowhead. The blue guards die from 2 arrows. And of course, the ball and chain guard, only 4 arrows, and he is down. Let's see if they pick up a map soon, because if they don't pick up a map here, that means the map will be in the sanctuary chest, and they will be able to skip that chest.
PHatHome is using a really interesting sprite, the Big Key, which I have difficulty playing because I never know if I'm facing right, left, or anything like that. So PHatHome is definitely a gambler. It is easier to see the shadows, so you can kind of set up different strats specifically in terms of your bomb jumping when you have a smaller sprite like that. That may be PHatHome's idea here. Meanwhile, they're just making blazing work through here. That bow just makes things go so easy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Usually, if we see a bow start here in V29, I've seen a lot of seeds giving you pendants at both Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness as well. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, absolutely. I think if you get the early bow, you might check the South Shore area to see if the lamp is there, to see if it's end logic. But absolutely, go ahead and go and clear out Eastern, even if it is a pendant. The logic that opens up is just too significant to ignore. Most of the dungeon is in that Sphere 1 location anyway, so just bite the bullet, go ahead and do it. Something is probably going to be there.
Yeah, that is true. And runners with this record, 2 and 2, they basically, I think, don't need the lamp to do Eastern Palace Dark Rooms.
And Clifford getting back to the first floor of the escape sequence, sub 4 minutes at kind of a 3:40. PHatHome right behind him at 6 seconds. The idea or ideal to get through the entire escape sequence is about 6 minutes. Both of our runners on track to actually beat that based on the bow and the early bomb drop. We're not farming anything. We're not going through. They are on track right now and should be feeling pretty good about their run so far.
Yep, and they also picked up an additional 3 bombs, so they will also be set for all the Kakariko bombable walls as well at this point in time. Yeah, the fastest escape weapon will probably be, I think, either the hammer or the fire rod. The fire rod also makes quick work of all enemies, one shot and they're all dead. And Clifford picking up that map, meaning that the sanctuary chest will contain another item.
Yeah, I think, if it's optimized, it's real close between the bow, the hammer, and the fire rod. Fire rod, things do burn, so you can't get through some of those quick kill locations quite as fast. Hammer does the most damage of all of that, so if you're fine with taking a little bit of damage, I think the hammer would be fastest, but really it depends on how comfortable you are with the hammer strats, especially with that funky hitbox.
Yep, smashing up with the hammer can be a little bit tricky, however smashing left or right is a lot easier. And here in the back of Escape, speaking of fire rod, Clifford and PHatHome will be picking up their fire rod here already. Very nice pickup there.
What? I mean, come on. We get 3 weapons from the Escape sequence already. The bow, the fire rod, and the Keen of Samaria. This is just unfair. This is unfair.
Yeah, and those weapons are strong indeed.
So Clifford finishes just under 6 minutes to get through the escape sequence. Absolutely looking great. Picks up a 4th heart piece through everything. PHatHome will be right there. Here's where sometimes we see a little bit of route divergence. At this point in time, we have nothing necessarily pointing us that it might be an Aghanim required seed, other than the fact that we don't have a single item that requires Aghanim, that would point us towards Aghanim right now. Do you check the Lumberjack ledge? Is that one of your preferred strats, Plus?
Yeah, I think there are 2 schools. One of the schools always decides to skip the Lumberjack cave and go back once you have the boots, so you can route that in with the mirror locations and of course the bonk rock locations. However, me myself, I like to do an early check on the Lumberjack cave, and seems that both of our runners today also will be making that check.
And both runners ended up getting some good bomb drops from the tree pole and etc. So they'll be both completely filled with bombs. So no need to purchase bombs after they're in the escape in Kakariko. Kakariko itself has up to 15 items in it. So there's great opportunity to see where it's pointing. PHatHome does figure out with a map check. Looks like Eastern Palace is our vanilla green pendant, but I still don't think that really deters you from completing that early.
No, that's correct. And both Desert Palace and Tower of Hera just being normal crystals. Being the green pendant at this stage, if our runners will find the lamp, I think there will be a pretty high probability that Sahasrara is holding onto something that could get our runners to Dark World.
All right, so both of our runners are on their way to Kakariko now. Both of them are doing very, very well at the moment in terms of making the routing choices and doing kind of the same thing. I'm really curious to see where the route divergence is going to happen. Linear up to this point in time only because it's the preferred route.
Yeah, I think depending on what we will find here in Kakariko Village, we might see some small divergences early. And speaking of progression, there's a first progression item. It's the lift upgrade.
The first of 3 items necessary to go ahead and get us into the Dark World without requiring Aghanim. That's a welcome sight. Going through this game without a lift upgrade is painful. I think painful would be the right word. Yeah, painful.
Yeah, not that comfortable, and you'd rather see this than a cape or a lamp this early on.
Quick arrow refill here. That's a nice pickup, but they're both in the well. So Lessie, what do we find down in the well here?
Well, there's another piece of our puzzle. The Moon Pearl, only a hammer or another lift upgrade away from Dark World access.
Yeah, these two are on a great track right now, and more arrows. My gosh, those are expensive arrows this time around. But they are holding hands just about getting through this Kakariko.
Yeah, synced up very nicely. Let's see if they can find the next lift upgrade or the hammer in Kakariko and decide to already hit it off and go straight to the Dark World here from Kakariko Village and ignoring the Light World. I've seen some players opt to go for those strategies here in this tournament already.
All right, so another 400 rupees. So even with the purchase at the bottle vendor, both these runners are hovering right around 400 rupees.
Yep, and having found the lift upgrade, Zora is completely in logic. So just 100 rupees shy of a Zora visit.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, with that Moon Pearl, it makes sequence breaking using fake flippers maybe a little bit more valuable. Here we see a slight divergence. Clifford is going ahead and doing the risk check. PHatHome is playing it safe, is not gambling bombs. So he's going to actually miss out on those 20 rupees. He doesn't necessarily care. He's stacked for rupees right now.
Yep, and seems like PHatHome is taking the traditional South Shore check first, going to the dam, having access to 2 more items, and afterwards, of course, going to Mini Moldrum Cave. And it will be interesting to see if he goes for the fake flippers to go up to Zora, having that Moon Pearl, being able to check out the Waterfall Fairy Cave as well.
Well, who said anything about fake flippers? We got the real deal right now. Oh, that's about as well timed as we could expect. PHatHome and Clifford both are going to be finding the real flippers right here in the dam area.
Yeah, well, even more reason to go pay your favorite King Zora ripoff visit.
Yeah, it feels like that, doesn't it? I think I would make my decision based on what happens in this Mini Moldrum PHatHome with the nice snipe there on the crab. If I get close to 400, I think I would go ahead and go up there, but it's really going to determine. If I don't get any rupees in this cave, I don't. And Clifford making a gamble. See, this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier, where you're at 2-2, you're facing elimination in a 1v1 match. Sometimes you gotta take a risk, and Clifford is taking a risk over here to Agita's cave, an out-of-the-way location. We're gonna check what's on the desert ledge. PHatHome does find the ice rod, 20 rupees, another big 300. So they will have the rupees necessary to go ahead and do Zora if they so desire.
Yeah, this could be huge if Clifford finds another lift upgrade or a hammer in Agnes cave. That will mean instant Dark World access for him.
If not, that's going to put him a little bit further behind. Either way, both these runners are going to be able to get up to Zora pretty fast and go ahead and pay him his ransom money for nothing, because it's Zora and he's a cheapskate.
Until he's not.
Until he's not.
PHatHome going, it seems, for the Ice Rod Cave check. Well, having found that Ice Rod in Mini Moldrum Cave, there will not be an Ice Rod. However, this is another location that most players, I think, tend to avoid, but this could also pay off hugely because we haven't found our Dark World access yet.
Yeah, Clifford does find the Agna bus, but that's good information if they're ever searching around for a location and don't have desert access. That could help him a little bit later. PHatHome doesn't necessarily find anything in Ice Rod Cave, so I believe he's going to flipper over and do the Hobo and Zora routing at this point. That's really the only thing, other than the bow, really pushing us in any specific direction.
Yep, that is true. We still don't have access to Death Mountain yet, of course. Well, it's not in logic. They could get up to Death Mountain sequence breaking without the lamp, but after the Zora area and of course the eastern area, I think that's basically it. So I think we will find our Dark World access soon.
All right, and our first check on Hobo is going to be the flute. Oh, actually, that's awesome.
Wow, that is huge. That means, yeah, Death Mountain is officially in logic right now.
I mean, it's in logic, but really, there's only one item on Death Mountain in logic right now, and that's in Spectacle Rock Cave. So you're not banking on anything necessarily being there. Clifford's going to go up and find his flute directly. PHatHome is going to continue up into the Zora area.
Yep, it'd be nice though if one of these runners decides to actually flute themselves up to Death Mountain and finding the last piece of the Dark World puzzle right there. As yeah, Clifford already made the gamble. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes another one like that soon.
Absolutely. So PHatHome doesn't necessarily find anything in the waterfall cave. So Clifford looks like he's going to be making a similar check at PHatHome at this point in time. Finds more arrows on Zora Ledge, and Clifford is actually saving and quitting. He's going to be activating that flute, and I can't imagine he's going anywhere but Death Mountain. This is an interesting gamble. Let's hope it pays off.
Yup, and meanwhile, PHatHome paying or dear king a visit, and let's see, is it gonna be a scam or a prize? And it's, well, it's his heart. It's a full heart. I'll take it, I guess. We'll take it.
It's nice, not thrilling, but nice.
Yeah, on Green Tunic, this early game in Light World is not that big of a deal. However, once they get Dark World access, most of the enemies hit for 2 or 3 hearts of damage. So a relatively nice pickup this early on, I guess, until they get the boots, if we find early boots, and pick up that mill upgrade from the library.
All right, so Clifford is actually a little bit ahead, and he's going to be able to flute away, and he's going right up there. Oh no, he's going to check. He's going to check Zora right now, so he wanted to activate his flute first.
Yeah, I think the next most logical play will be the eastern area, as it has, of course, 3 items in the back of Sahasrara's hut, and another maybe 3 in logic if we get the perfect setting for Eastern Palace, or of course a full clear if our runners don't really care about that lamp.
So here's something interesting. PHatHome is going to be doing a minor sequence break here, going through the dark rooms without the lamp. A lot of runners end up using the sword and kind of hold up to follow the sword sparkles to know where they're going. Because we don't have a sword yet, PHatHome created a block with the Cane of Samaria and is carrying it through this location, and I think he's a little bit lost right at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite hard to determine your position using the Samaria block. He could use the boomerang strats. I think that's a lot easier to use if he didn't forgot, of course, that he picked up that red meringue.
Yeah, I think PHatHome might be a little bit lost in this dark room.
No,
but
he
ends up getting up. Wow, okay, I was lost then.
Yeah, I think we were the ones lost, actually. And Old Man Gary rewarding us with this last little piece of love he had left for us. And yeah, we'll be seeing a Spectacle Rock shortly, and of course, what is inside of Spectacle Rock. So new information coming up soon.
New information. Okay, just a piece of heart up on the Spectacle Rock ledge. What do we have? Just Fisher-Price, my first shield. And at that point, PHatHome is going to have to leave. Looks like he's going to flute away. Our only option that we really don't know where progression could be is Eastern at this point in time. Now, there are 6 total items in this area that we possibly have access to. 3 in the back of Sahasrara and up to 3 in Eastern Palace. Eastern does have some dark room lock at some point, so you really have to be careful with what you're going to do there. Clifford is heading over in that direction right away. The thing you do not want to find right now, you would need 3 of them. It's some sort of AGA access, so I really don't think it's going to come to that, but you're looking at Lamp and either 2 sword upgrades, but at least 1 sword upgrade, and then the Magic Cape.
Yeah, I think we'll be finding another lift upgrade or a hammer soon, and I really like this routing by PHatHome666. He decides to hit up Eastern Palace first so he can get the green pendant, and afterwards visit Sarasrella and get all the items in one go, handing in the green pendant as well as checking the back of his hut there.
Well, and Clifford ended up doing something a little bit different. He checked the back of Sahasrara, found the Titansmith, so that's our Dark World access. Also ends up getting our first bottle, so he can check Sick Kit as well. So I kind of like what Clifford ended up doing. That's a nice gamble by Clifford, saying, no, I think all of Eastern is going to be a bust. We've seen some gambles from Clifford up to this point in time in the race, so not unexpected, and I like seeing this route divergence.
Yeah, this is very interesting to see because Eastern Palace is a pendant dungeon, and if there's nothing in here, it will result into a small time loss. And we get a map check here from Dark World. We see a pendant and Thief's Town. I saw a red crystal at Skull Woods. The rest I couldn't quite get.
Yeah, I blinked. I missed that. When map checks are so fast, you blink and miss it. It happens sometimes.
Yep, and there in the treasure chest game, Clifford picks up her first sword. Very nice.
That will make routing through this Dark World just that much easier. He does have a possibility of going to blind here directly.
Yep, as well as Skull Woods is completely in logic. Having the first sword, you'll be able to cut off those vines in the back of Skull Woods, and having the fire rod, you could, of course, try to beat Mothula. However, with green tunic and 8 hearts, it's a little bit scary at this moment.
Yeah, no, thank you. Absolutely not. I mean, Mothula is a little bit intimidating. He is, with green mail, does quite a bit of damage. The spikes will always do 1 heart of damage, of course. But with fighter swords, so you can't really, you knock them around. No half magic, only 1 bottle, and it's already got a fairy in it. You don't want to get rid of that safety. Skullwoods just seems kind of unattractive right at the moment.
Interesting to see if Clifford decides to only pick up those 4 treasure chests here in the front of Skullwoods. Looking at his hearts, 1.5 heart, I think he's setting up a death warp, but it could be a very, very big gamble if he decides to clear out the rest of Thief's Town here. Most players, I think, if Thief's Town is a pendant, they will decide based on how many items they find here in the front. And I believe we didn't see anything valuable there, only a big 20. And yeah, Clifford is going for the death warp there.
Yeah, he did end up picking, I think, and he can't death warp, he's got a fairy.
Did he forget? Yeah, I guess he forgot.
Luckily with green mail, death warps aren't that big of a deal.
Yep, and meanwhile, PHatHome in Eastern Palace also seems like a bust. Maybe there's 1 item left on Armor's Knights, I'm not sure. He decides to pick up a fairy, which I completely don't blame him at all, as the Dark Room which is coming up here is pretty difficult to handle. You have to find the Igor. He's gonna use the Samurai Buck first to wipe out those tentacle creatures, and trying to find the Igor here using arrows, having a little bit of difficulty there. But yeah, this is a very difficult room if both of the Igors start moving, and his position is already, I'm not sure at all where he is right now.
I don't think he's sure where it's at. He's just getting bodied by it in the dark, and he's going to take a death, it looks like. If he had just a little bit more magic, he'd have been able to use his fire rod, I believe, on those torches right there to help him out. And he's going to save and continue and nope out and says, I'm not going to gamble. There is one item on Armos Knights. There is one item from the green pendant. Now, the other thing worth noting is that PHatHome did not do the back of Sahasrah's closet prior to leaving. So he's got to make a decision because that's our Dark World access right now. Okay, he is going over there.
Yeah, he seemed a little bit lost right now, but of course, remembering, yes, I did not check out Sahasrah the closet yet, and seems like Clifford is going to take our dear little frog on a world tour here. Let's see how far they will get. He'll probably visit Stumpy, go to Hype Cave. We don't have the hammer, so we cannot get to the pyramid just yet with the hammer. However, we do have flippers, and taking the frog for a little swim, I bet he loves that.
The Jeremiah World Tour here coming up, and we're getting ready to kind of take him all over the place. Now,
Yep.
Hype Cave is really been kind of an interesting thing here in version 29. Sometimes it's hype, sometimes it's not, and Clifford taking a death.
Yep, these Dark World enemies don't fool around. Most 2 hearts of damage, and some of them, like the Murder Dactyls, or I think, those Snappers, I'm not sure what they call, do deal even 3 hearts of damage.
So the real kind of rough thing right now is that Clifford missed his opportunity to really route in Hype Cave, at least efficiently. Because of that, he's just tanking damage right there.
Yep, however, this is pretty good for PHatHome666. He'll be able to catch up a bit. And it seems like he's going for the Skull Woods check. Most people, they really see Skull Woods as a part of the Dark World overworld, just to get their 2 items out of there. So I don't really blame him for his check, but it's unfortunate that he didn't pick up his sword from the village of Outcast before going here. Of course, he doesn't know that there's a sword there waiting for him.
Yeah, if he had any designs about going ahead and completing the dungeon, the problem is that you need a sword to cut down the curtain. So he absolutely cannot complete this particular dungeon until he gets that sword.
Yep, even the best of us forget that at times. I've seen countless runners trying to get through here swordless, and then realizing, oh yeah, wait, we need to cut those vines in some kind of way. And Clifford going for the Misery Mire area check there.
Yeah, Misery Mire could be a lucrative location. PHatHome does end up finding the cape, and for one of 2 items that is in the Skull Woods area. So we'll see what the second item ends up being.
Yep, and having picked up the cape here is very nice because you can route in the Bumper Cave ledge straight away after exiting Skull Woods here.
All right, so Clifford coming back to the Dark World. We'll see where he ends up going. You gotta think he's heading back into the Hype Cave direction.
Yeah, that's the most item-dense location at this moment. And yeah, of course, having those flippers, you can reach the east side of Dark World as well, just flippering yourself through Lake Hylia, going up through the Palace of Darkness area, being able to check out the pyramid and Catfish as well. And having the bow, yeah, Palace of Darkness could be an interesting visit. However, without the hammer, it's not completable at this point yet.
PHatHome having a little bit of difficulty. He does not have the magic to kill the Gyptos with the fire rod, and the problem is the bow does 0 damage to these Gyptos unless you have the silvers. So he's got no way to deal any damage to these Gyptos, and they are just trolling him. So he's got 1 fire rod shot now.
He does have a way though. He does have the red boomerang, and the boomerang can stun these Gyptos, making the room a lot easier. And he got magic, so he can always use his picked up Cane of Samaria from the escape sequence.
All right, Clifford is in Hype Cave. We got a big 20. We got a big single. We got a little bit of love. We got a lot of love. And we got a blue boomerang. Sounds like my last trip to Vegas.
A love cave.
There's a little bit of money, a whole lot of love, and regret.
Well, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? No more words about that. And there's the rest of our map being checked by PHatHome666, the other 5-6 crystal in Ice Palace, and another pendant in Swamp Palace. And Clifford indeed decides to take a swim through the Dark World area. And let's see if he decides to go to Palace of Darkness straight away or go to the Pyramid. And seems like he's going for the Pyramid play first.
Yeah, I like the pyramid play. You know, there's always a possibility that something important can be on this pyramid, so it's a worthwhile check to go ahead and just kind of dip your toe in the water. Come on over here. If it's hammer, man, that really makes the dip into pod just that more likely.
Yeah, and same goes for Catfish. And yeah, Clifford having already gambled quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Catfish if he doesn't find the hammer here. And it's even more love here on the pyramid. Egyptian love, that is.
All right, so where's our progression at this point in time? We don't have a ton of options, but pod seems to be the most likely candidate right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. We haven't checked out the back of Thieves Town. However, it's a pendant, so it's not that attractive to our runners. And not sure if PHatHome picked up the second item in Skull Woods, but if he picks up his sword here, he'll be able to go to Mothula, and not sure if he's holding the second item. Didn't quite catch that.
Clifford's got to be careful. These things, I mean, he's running around the horrible Dark World where everything just does a ton of damage to him. He's only got 3 hearts right now. He has plenty of money for Kiki. He is gambling going into pod, but if it ends up being bow locked, he'll be fine. That's one of the nice things.
Well, as long as he is able to get in, because if he takes a death here in the beginning of pod, he can just, well, basically death warp to get some hearts back and start the dungeon all over again. It's good that he didn't take another overworld Dark World death.
So yeah, I saw the term used in chat. We do seem to be kind of at a bottleneck at this point. Both runners are getting have the same item loadout. We're just kind of waiting to see where our next progression is located. Is it in Palace of Darkness? Is it in the back end of Thieves Town? Back end of Thieves, I mean, neither are really great options is the problem. It's just a matter of making the risk. We know there's, I think, 2 more items that are in Thieves Town. You do have a denser location in check, but in pod, but you can't complete it unless you get really lucky with your items. So it'll be interesting to see which pays off.
Oh, there's some big progression item. The mirror found by Clifford there in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, that does open up a couple more locations. That does open up the Graveyard Ledge and Cave 45 just north of the Grove. Those 2 locations being there is really nice, actually.
Yep, as well as Clifford will be able to go up to Death Mountain and complete Tower of Hera.
Oh, I just saw the bunny sprite for the big key sprite was the compass. That's good.
Oh, I want to see that again. I blinked. I was watching Clifford stream right there. But yeah, if he goes up to Death Mountain and goes for the Hera play and finds a hammer there, we're just a medal away from Turtle Rock access.
Ew. Ew. Turtle Rock access. Ew. Like,
Yep.
Turtle Rock is not where you want to be going right at the moment.
No, but very much around the corner if we find a hammer sooner.
Well,
And-
we need a medallion to at least open it up as
Yeah.
well.
That is correct. But I'm not sure. Always seeing the early fire rod, early ice rod in the King of Samaria. Seeds always kind of hinting, go to Turtle Rock, go to Turtle Rock, and this time it's a crystal. However, in V29, I always say it's one of my philosophies right here. If Turtle Rock is a pendant, it's even more required. And no, luckily for runners, in this seed, Turtle Rock is a crystal, so they will need to complete it anyway.
You know, part of me is thinking we got that early fire rod for a reason. I think. And this seed would be horrible for doing it to me. I think something's fire locked behind if we go up to Skullwoods and past that area where the fire rod is required. I think either Mothula or that one treasure chest that's there is going to have our next big progression.
Oh wow, that would be pretty mean. I mean, Clifford at 11 hearts, in a bit more comfortable situation than PHatHome666 is. Both have used their fairy in the bottle already. Yeah, they could opt to flute to the witch's hut to buy a blue potion. Will make it a little bit more attractive, but still, yeah, still something could be here in Thieves Town in the big chest as well, and since we don't have the hammer, we cannot check that out right now, so that will be in the back of PHatHome's mind.
Clifford's got to be careful. He is going through here. Didn't see what that was. I don't think he saw what it was. Maybe more bombs.
A very, very nice blind fight from PHatHome666, who goes down and receives another heart container for his efforts, as well as the blue pendant.
Yeah, that's unfortunate at that point in time. Doesn't really get a whole lot. I mean, the cape is nice, but nothing really in Thieves Town what we wanted.
Yeah, the cape was in Skullwoods, and there's still, I believe, one item left. I mean, he picked up the small key, so there's still something in the big chest. I'm not sure, however, if there was a compass or a map. And Clifford gets rewarded for his Dark Maze efforts with the Ether Medallion.
And he goes right in to take a death warp. I think he's done. He's like, nah, can't do anything else. I'm done here.
Yep, so he's still continuing on, though. Did he get everything?
Yeah, I think he's realizing he got everything and he can't really do much else, so he's backing out. He might be dipping Eastern, which PHatHome did do earlier, to no avail. So we'll see what exactly is going on.
Yup, and Yeah, without the lamp, Armos Knight's not in logic, so whatever we receive from the green pendant, if we hand it in Sahasra, will not be in logic. And as far as logic goes, we've seen everything of Thieves Down, we've seen a lot of Pod. I think we're down to Catfish, and the other thing is Kill Woods.
Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, that we have both Bumper Cave and the mirror locations in the Dark Overworld, the Cave 45 and Graveyard Ledge.
Ah, yeah, you're correct. He picked up the mirror, so he could still go pay Hera a visit. And I thought PHatHome checked out the Bumper Cave ledge, but I'm not sure if I saw him doing that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I saw it as well either. So PHatHome, about to have his Vegas trip dashed as well. It's okay, PHatHome. I know how it goes.
And dropping some bombs. He's not happy to see that. Yeah, good point. Purple chest as well in logic as Ice Palace.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Ice Palace isn't. Yeah, oh, God. Ice Palace is in logic. What? Oh, no. Let's try to avoid that if we can. But it is in logic, which is the problem.
Yeah, I'd say just flew away to the witch's hut, pick up a blue potion, and just go for it. Fighter sword, Ice Palace. What do you know?
Fighter sword, no half magic for fire rod, green mail, no hook shot, Ice Palace. Yeah, it seems like a perfectly reasonable play to me.
And one thing that is very interesting to me, I really love chat's thinking. I heard a very, very dirty word, which is the first treasure chest in Swamp.
No, if I refuse to believe it, it doesn't happen. I think that's how that goes. Like, if I just refuse to believe that it's there, it won't happen, right?
Yeah, yeah, you can like unjinx yourself, I guess. And I feel like flabbergasted in this seed because usually I always have like a good feeling where to go to. However, all these options our runners are getting right now are so unattractive. Like, where do you go from here? It's like everything feels like a gamble.
No, it's absolutely true. So there is one option that is still on the table, and I want to. Okay, no, that's not possible. Never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I think the most reasonable option at this moment is going for Tower of Hera. It's a crystal, you can get there. PHatHome will be picking up his mirror shortly as well. Clifford already has it. It's fully clearable. We have a fire source, so we can also go to the basement of Hera. So I guess, yeah, that's the most logical play right now. And Clifford, making it through the Dark World, making good use of the Fire Rod. So he'll be seeing that last item on Armos Knights, as well as being able to hand in the green pendant as Sahasrara.
Now keep in mind, this is a sequence break, so anything that we find here we know that logically we were supposed to have the lamp first. So if Clifford finds anything, we might get a clue to at least where the flute is not. Oh God.
Fetch quests, anyone?
Hey Kless, I have a question for you.
Shoot, right away.
Do you want to do a fetch quest? Or maybe do a T-Rock dive?
Oh, Lord.
You know it could be anywhere. Pull out your hair. It's going to be fine.
I really hope That mushroom will lead us to a hammer, and Turtle Rock requires the Ether Medallion. What do you say?
I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh, let's see what Clifford ends up deciding to do. PHatHome is in pod now.
Yeah, he'll be very happy to see that mirror. I hope it will lead him to some good places. Yeah, not to the dirty treasure chest in Swamp Palace, the first one, but yeah. We have seen the hammer sitting there before. And yeah, Clifford going for another out-of-the-way location, it seems. The purple chest.
Oh, and he's going to be doing fake powder because we have all the things we need to do for fake powder. So he's going to have to burn through all of his magic real quick, which is horrible. It sucks, but he's going to do it. It's like, how do I do it? Oh, fire rod. Okay.
Yeah, that is fast. And sequence break after sequence break. He sequence broke to the mushroom, and now he's gonna sequence break fake powder. So let's see if he gets something nice from this.
I mean, if something is here, then you just got to, I mean, still follow the lamp logic at this point and hope. No, Clifford, that's what you get for doing double sequence breaks. A single arrow.
The arrow of all arrows.
So Clifford is going to be turning in our wonderful Gary's lunchbox at this point in time. There's the magic powder.
Well, there you go. Fake powder and powder in logic, completely in logic.
I'm just laughing. That's funny to me.
Here we go. Let's see. Is it gonna be the hammer here on Sequence Broken Mushroom? Please.
Oh god, this would be horrible. But it would be great intel. Nope. Just 20 rupees.
Oh, and there goes the sequence break.
So Clifford is going now to go turn in. He took a gamble going away from getting that green pendant, but we will be having the green pendant turn in while PHatHome is still checking these locations. There's several locations. The Dark Death Mountain area, or not Dark Death Mountain, what am I saying? The North Hyrule Dark World area where we can do the Graveyard Ledge. Half magic, that's not bad. I'll take it.
We'll definitely take it. We'll make the Mothula fight a lot more interesting. And there he goes. This will be the Tower of Hera play.
I mean, Tower of Hera is not a bad play. It's in sequence. Yes, because Mirror was still in a late room, so we haven't sequence broken the Mirror, which is important to know, and I think Clifford knows that. So he's coming up here. This is going to be his first trip. Double checking. Yeah, just your Fisher Price shield up here.
Yep, it's a crystal. 2 items. Need to get it done anyway. I think, yeah, there might be a decent chance that our progression will be hiding here. Still, Fighter Sword Moldorm. You need to do it in the vanilla game as well. It's not that much of fun as, yeah, falling to him will be a lot easier without the hammer or Master Sword above to get in some spins and make quick work of him.
And we see PHatHome actually going to be doing the same play. I believe he also picked up the mirror in Palace of Darkness, so decided this is where they're going to go. Finds the map and the big key, so 2 items in total in Tower of Hera. Hoping that you don't have to do the basement, but if you do, knowing that your opponent's going to do it too.
Yep, that is true. And if you have a lot of progression on your hands, I've seen a lot of runners this tournament already skipping the chest in the basement, even if it has one item left. But yeah, looking at the runners right now, I think they're definitely looking for something. So if the last item here is in the basement of Tower of Hera, they will definitely go to pick that up.
And there's that key. They got to hope these next two are items. Clifford taking kind of a risky bomb jump here. Doesn't have the boots, so there's only kind of a 2 pixel tolerance. Does get it. There is the first of 2 items.
Yep, and not something you want to see, just an aero capacity upgrade. And that bomb jump is quite strict, because if you fall down, you take a fall down 2 floors. So it's very good that he got it, and let's hope that the last item will be on Moldorm.
Yeah, that particular bomb jump, if you do it without the boots, it is only a 2 pixel tolerance at that point. If you are dashing and bonking off the wall, it's actually an 8 pixel tolerance. So that's why you'll see a lot of runners end up using that particular bonk strat when you're going through there. Clifford does take a fall to Moldorm, colloquially called Trolldorm, because he trolls us every time.
Yep, stays very faithful to his name there. And yeah, having Fighter Sword, not a very fun fight. Gets in 2 slashes. Trolldorm not playing nice. Gets in a poke. And another poke. I think we got this. Another poke. We're in the fast phase.
Poke strats. All right, we'll do it.
Very nice. First try.
It is the compass. The last item is indeed in the basement.
Yep, so what do you say? Cup of coffee?
Yeah, let's see. Here, hang on. Well, I'll be polite. I'm going to wait for Clifford to actually get it going, and then I will go refill my adult beverage.
Yep, and of course he's going for it. And PHatHome also reaching the top floors of Tower of Hera. Let's see how his Trolldorm fight is gonna go.
All right, and Clifford is setting up, and he gets his coffee break, so I'll be right back for a beverage.
Yeah, good idea. Let's refill while you can. However, I'm not feeling like a coffee break. I'm watching PHatHome taking care of Trolldorm here. If you hold your sword out, you cannot be pushed from the floor here if Trolldorm bumps up to you. However, you can still fall down if you don't poke in the right direction. And he gets his first try, gets his crystal, and also knows that he has to go through the whole coffee break sequence.
Yeah, that doesn't feel very good for PHatHome. And we'll see what Clifford ends up finding here directly. No! $20.
Wow. Oh, all these nasty scenarios are waiting right now. Oh my god.
The good news is they got a crystal. That's their first crystal. We're almost an hour into the seed.
Yeah, wow. However, you know that your opponent is going through the exact same seed, so of course both will be feeling behind a bit, but with seeds like this, yeah, I'm not sure if there are correct or like the most favorable play to make. It's just a chaos. It's like being in a labyrinth, in a maze. It's difficult. Clifford is going for the checkerboard cave check, as he picked up the mirror in Palace of Darkness. He couldn't check this when he just had the Fluid and the Titan's Midst. So let's see if this holds something. And another baby's first shield, Fisher Prize.
Why do these guys hate shields? I mean, come on. I mean, other than logically, they're not required even remotely.
Yeah, well, shields. Shoutouts to Tear. I think he hates his shields, always gets them eaten.
All right, so Clifford is taking a dip into Desert Palace. This is also another crystal, although we're going to find out pretty quickly if there's a small key or possibly a big key on this torch here. We could see a boots locked desert. So Clifford finds the map, so we're good.
Yep, so not boot locked. So yeah, 2 more items here and another crystal. And having the fire rod and half magic, Lemolas is gonna be such a fast fight.
Oh, absolutely. So Clifford should find his small key in this treasure chest, and does, and will be taking the long, slow walk across all of Desert Palace to the other side, where he's hoping he'll find 2 items, but is likely going to be finding the compass and 1 item, just because the luck of finding 2 items would be nice. And the seed is not nice.
Nope, not at all. And speaking about not so nice things, how about the dirty P word? Bringing up that right now because the P is on life support, I think, right now.
Yeah, the pedestal. So the items that we're still waiting on to get into the pedestal. And unfortunately, just finding a whole lot of junk. In order for something to be on the pedestal, it can't be required for Swamp Palace, Eastern Palace, or Thieves Town. So Eastern and Thieves Town, right now, okay, we know Lamp, we absolutely need. Hammer, we absolutely need to get through Swamp Palace. Hookshot, we absolutely need to get through Swamp Palace. We have just about everything else we need, is the problem. So unless Turtle Rock is not Ether and is one of those other 2, I can safely say that Pedestal is dead.
Yep, that's what I wanted to say. So pet on life support could be a medallion, and that's basically it. Or, of course, something that I guess chat would love to see, a Master Sword on the pedestal, and the other 2 swords being blocked by the Master Sword on those other tablets.
You're a mean one, Mr. Kless.
I'm just reading the mind of chat.
It's true. It's true. Chat always likes to go for the worst possible seeds, which is fine. It's a good exercise in what's could possibly go wrong. And there's our compass. So nothing in desert, and there's another crystal.
Well, that is nice. Anyway, before the 1 hour mark, the second crystal, he'll feel a little bit better about himself. And I did not read chat's mind correctly. There's one even more evil thing that could be on pedestal, and that is a fetch quest item. For example, the shovel. What if shovel leads to the last required medallion or the last required sword?
If that happens, I will sing the entire fetch quest song for you guys. I promise, swear on my father's grave, I will sing the entire fetch quest song for you guys if that's the case.
And
I'm not gonna bet out like that.
I guess I'll have to join.
I mean, if you want to, you don't have to. I mean, you can. No one has ever done the fetch quest song with me where they've appropriately done the "Shut Up, Vita" line. So,
Well, learning about that one, I'm already looking forward to hearing it. And yeah, Clifford seems to be making that Skullwoods play, feeling a lot more comfortable having picked up that half magic sequence broken, by the way. And on 12 hearts, I think he'll go pay that Moth a little visit and have a little fun with him.
yeah, at this point, this is a really nice play. And if it's not here, then you can just kind of go over and do these Dark World Mirror locations at this point in time, and even maybe go up to Catfish. Catfish is still a location we haven't really had access to yet, or we've had access to but haven't checked.
Yeah, it's nice to get out of the way after Skullwoods, going to the Bumper Ledge, checking out the Graveyard Ledge, and swimming over to Catfish. I think, yeah, that is the best time to route it in, as we've already visited the Zora area. So, yeah, a better chance than this, I think, won't be coming. So let's see, what would be the most terrible thing to find here in Skull Woods, if there's even an item hiding here?
Well, I feel like there's got to be something. I mean, there doesn't have to be something here. We still have some other options. The worst thing that could possibly be here would be, if we're talking progression in the book, because that unlocks nothing except the pedestal, and so you're going to be tempted to check pedestal.
Yep, that was exactly gonna be my call. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't unlock anything because yeah, our runners both already cleared desert, so they already got into desert by using that mirror. However, yeah, they will have that book, and with the book and just a fighter sword, they'll be able to check out the bombos and the ether tablets, and yeah, knowing what will come on their paths very soon.
Clifford being very aggressive with this Mothula. That can be a little bit dangerous sometimes, but doing a very nice job. Very clean Mothula kill, all things said, and just 20 rupees.
Wow, this seed. Why are you so generous?
Like, it's at this point in the seed where, like, every time you think something is going to drop down, you get hyped up to yourself and then get extremely disappointed.
Yeah, wow, all these efforts, like 1 hour in, and all these efforts our runners are making for nothing. And PHatHome going for that amazing Ice Palace play, it seems.
Yeah, Ice Palace, this could be it. I mean, you can't... It's in logic, which is the worst part, is that we can absolutely go ahead and do this. But I don't know a single person who wants to do fighter sword, no hook shot, green mail. He doesn't even have half magic at this point in time. This is disgusting.
And most importantly, he doesn't even have the hammer. And the hammer blocks away, I believe, 2 treasure chests here. And of course, you cannot get to the boss without the hammer.
Oh no, don't use ether. He's thinking about it. Yeah, don't use ether. Don't... He's using bomb strats on the pen gators.
Yeah, this is one of those weird, very rare situations where you do not have hookshot, you do not have bombos, and you do not have like a massive sword or higher. So I guess this is his last resort. This is the only thing he could use to go for those pen gators.
Oh man, he gets through it with 3 hearts. Clifford is checking the graveyard ledge. We'll see if it's here. PHatHome not finding anything. Probably not necessarily happy about that right now. There it is.
Wow.
There is the hammer in the graveyard ledge. And this has been open to them for quite a while. We've been out of Palace of Darkness, which is where that mirror was located, for some time. So Palace of Darkness is a required double dip.
Yeah, but who does that? Who goes to Palace of Darkness without being able to clear it, picking up a mirror? And who goes to check out the mirror spot straight away if you have so many other options? Like, I don't blame him at all. And I hope PHatHome will be locked out of Ice Palace very soon, because he'll probably find nothing here, but still, the hookshot could be in the freezer room.
That's a possibility. Right now, Clifford with the distinct advantage at this point in time. Now, I'm really interested to see how PHatHome ends up handling this. He is not going to do the bomb jump. Okay.
Yeah, he's going for that bomb jump. However, if you want to full clear Ice Palace, it's better not to bomb jump, and he doesn't have the hammer and he doesn't have hookshot either, so I guess it'd be wise to just continue on to the freezer room, and I guess the other room which is accessible to him after that is the iced tea room. But other than that, I don't see any benefit of making that bomb jump. Not sure, but interesting choice.
Yeah, worth noting, Clifford did end up getting the blue mail in from our wonderful friend, the Catfish. So Catfish actually had something nice for us as well. So Clifford going right up to Death Mountain saying, yeah, I can do both Light and Dark Death Mountain right now. Well, Dark Death Mountain is a bit of a misnomer because we only really have Super Bunny Cave right now.
We have Turtle Rock if it's ether.
Why do you want to do that to these runners? I mean, why do you hate happiness?
I'm not sure, but seeing that blue mill makes me so confident. I'm not sure. Like Clifford walking all happy, doing his stroll around Death Mountain. It's like, yeah, let's just go and pay the turtle a little visit. All those terrapins are waiting for him.
Well, we're at least going to get an opening right here, which is kind of a smart play when you think about it. He's going to check the Super Bunny Cave, and it's ether. No!
What did I do? What did I do?
You're a monster.
Oh wow! And besides another sort of great, yeah, pedestal is pretty much dead.
All right, so Clifford is going to go ahead and check Super Bunny Cave. PHatHome does make that bomb jump in Ice Palace, so that's really interesting. That's one of the more difficult bomb jumps to end up making. You have to be right on the edge there. So PHatHome makes it. Clifford, meanwhile, is going through Super Bunny Cave. Doesn't find anything there. Does have all of Light World. That's 7 more locations, 5, 6, 7, 8 more locations to check.
Yep, and it seems like he's going for Spy Cave, I believe, or oh no, of course he has Light World Death Mountain. What am I even saying? Wow, not used to this kind of scenario in which you visit Dark Death Mountain first and after that Light Death Mountain. Interesting.
Well, routing it is definitely easier because you can access both of everything from Dark Death Mountain from the top so much easier than from the bottom. Meanwhile, you access Light Death Mountain from the bottom easier. It's all right. Clifford prefers to top. It's okay, guys. It's a thing. Everyone has a preference.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's hope for Clifford that he finds something here that will maybe lead him away from Turtle Rock, if that is not the play, and so he can postpone that to his last crystal. Let's see. As far as progression goes, he needs a hook shot for Ice Palace to be completely in logic, I guess. I think he's able to do it without the hook shot, as he can, of course, bomb jump. And besides that hook shot, I think we are only a massive sword away from go mode.
Yeah, hook shot and I mean lamp is technically required, and that master sword. Clifford not finding anything so far. That's disappointing. So do you go ahead and go back up to Turtle Rock?
Yeah, wow, what a decision. Not sure what I prefer, but I guess, yeah, Pod would be my next destination. Just clear it out. We've seen Clifford deal with the Dark Room, however, with the Fire Road threads, but he already did the Dark Maze, Impulse of Darkness, without that much problem. So I guess with the Fire Rod in hand, he'll be able to take care of the Turtle Room easily.
And it looks like Clifford is making the play into Turtle Rock. I mean, he's got Fighter Sword, but that's the only real negative thing at this point. He's got Blue Mail, half magic. He's in relatively good shape. We just might have to see if we get all the way there. Might end up having to see a menu boss Trinex where you're menuing between the rods and the hammer.
See? I'm nice. Blue Mill and 13 hearts and half magic and another fetch quest item. So fetch quest song.
No. We gotta save the fetch quest for something special.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I kind of forgot about boots, which might come into play if the Ganon's Tower big key is on that torch. Not a very, very nice thought to have once you go inside Ganon's Tower and you do not have that boots. And Clifford having to deal with this room from the bottom here as he doesn't have hookshot. And fortunately, he remembers that he has to go the long way to light these torches without the hookshot.
I should note there is another scenario where the boots are going to be required. Oh no, Clifford!
Oh, a little detour and he makes it.
He does make it. So the other scenario where boots would be required is if the hookshot is somewhere in Misery Mire. There are only two ways past that first gap in Misery Mire. You bonk across with the boots, or you hookshot across. So if hookshot is in Misery Mire, boots are required to get through there.
That is very, very correct, sir. And boots could also be locking that hookshot in one of the boots locations, King's Tomb, or, of course, the bonk rocks. However, if our runners are no, they still need the hookshot or the boots, yeah. No, what am I saying? I was gonna say the hover skill, but yeah.
Well, it is worth noting that with Swamp Palace being a pendant, it's entirely possible that the hookshot won't be found until at least Ganon's Tower. I mean, we may not have to dip Swamp Palace at all.
Yep, if we find boots first and we use boots as our Misery Mire access, it could very well be that hookshot might be hiding even in one of the latest treasure chests in Ganon's Tower. And not sure about PHatHome666 or Clifford if they are able to hover, but I've seen crazy things this tournament. And even, yeah, one of the some newer players are equipped with a hovering skill. It's yeah, amazing.
Meanwhile, PHatHome does finally find the hammer, so he's kind of on the same routing as Clifford is right at this moment.
Yeah, this is good for him, and of course, yeah, the most lucrative place you can go, having found the hammer, is yeah, Death Mountain. But let's see if he also decides to dip into Turtle Rock. Well, dip into it, just clear it out, or if he decides to go somewhere else first.
So Clifford going through here, we're making relatively good work. I mean, the nice thing about Turtle Rock is you don't have to kill a ton of stuff. And the stuff you can kill is made pretty quick by the fire rod.
Yeah, the pokies, yeah, take an insta-kill of those fire rod shots. Yeah, besides those, yeah, you can't kill those chain jumps, but Clifford already is past them. And yeah, besides those, some of the beetles on the laser bridge, but with cape and half magic in hand, won't be any problem at all.
All right, so in Mimic Cave, Clifford finds just a big 20. PHatHome is actually opting to do all of Light World, looks like first, and then going to be doing the Dark World, which I think the other way that Clifford did it is slightly more efficient, but not much. So if you're going on muscle memory, it really doesn't make much of a difference.
Yeah, I think it's a case of muscle memory or just runner preference. I like to do my light world checks first, However, it's a very nice option to just mirror in front of Paradox Cave and route your way from there. And Chad is bringing up indeed Hookshot Cave. He could check that first chest in Hookshot Cave if he had the boots. However, he does not, so he won't be able to check any chest there just now.
Yeah, worth noting as we enter some dark rooms and PHatHome is checking everything that we've already checked. The reason that Bonk stressed getting across in Misery Mire from the boots and getting that first treasure chest in Hookshot with Bonks is actually in logic. It's been determined that it's an intended strat that the developers ended up building into the game. When you go up Ganon's Tower and you're just getting ready to start the gauntlet portion, you do have to bonk across using a dash, turning real quick and bonking across a gap to get to a safety room that is otherwise inaccessible if you do not use that particular bonk strat. Because of that one gap being there in the game, the developers of the Randomizer determined that that was indeed an intended strategy for our runners to be able to do, so that bonking across things like the Misery Mire area and also bonking across in that Hookshot Cave should be intended.
Yep, and one of the very, very evil scenarios that sometimes happens in Randomizer is that the hookshot is actually located in that one treasure chest which you can bonk to in Hookshot Cave, and that's something I really don't wish upon our runners in this already very, very evil seed.
I don't blame you, no. Clifford looks like he's trying to get through. He actually looks like he's in good shape right now. He's in a good position.
Yeah, he got it.
All right, so there's going to be one key left. Again, Clifford is sequence breaking right now, so we're not going to find the lamp, for example, here. And if we do find anything in Laser Bridge, we know that it is the lamp will be somewhere not locked behind it.
And Clifford opting to go for the safety door strat. Yeah, not to be blamed at all, because if he takes a death here, he'll be going back straight here to the safety door, and we'll be able to check out all these treasure chests anyway. And of course, if he takes a death to Trinex, he could also just come back here as he has that door open to his safety.
Yeah, Clifford does take a death, but with that safety door, he'll be able to keep dancing. Call it a safety dance, if you will. Oh God, book.
No comment.
Well, book locked behind lamp logic, so okay.
Yeah, my guess is the lamp is hiding in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, in really a pretty early portion of Swamp Palace, we still don't have access to the hookshot, which, well, it could absolutely be somewhere there.
Yep, left side pendant swamp hookshots. Don't we love it?
You and I have very different definitions of love.
I know, you just love the love hype cave. And Clifford going into his Trinix fight and going for those menuing strats. Nice hammer shots right there, getting 3 hits in with that pretty hard to hit hitbox. Another 2 hammer hits makes that fire head disappear. Going for the ice head, unfortunately getting some ice spit on the ground. Or, oh, the fire head isn't that yet.
Yeah, I think he was trying to keep the ice head from causing too big of a mess here.
Oh, still very nice fight up until now, using the hammer, setting up for some spins, and probably will get in some hammer hits after this.
Gotta avoid that ice patch, but he's doing reasonably well here. And gets the Trinex kill. That's Fighter Sword Hammer Trinex is not necessarily the easiest thing, so GG Clifford on that one.
No, that was a very, very nice fight, and gets rewarded with the silver arrows. Finally, something nice. No progression, but nice to have.
Absolutely. So you get the book, you get the shovel, and you get silvers. Turtle Rock isn't progression.
Well, I mean, book is sequence broken. However, shovel, the shovel spot could hold something. It's completely in logic.
That's true. And Clifford looks like... Oh, he tried to pause. I think he's going to go over here, at least check the ether tablet, see what's going on, and then do... Yeah, he's going to do that, and then check possibly what's on Spike Cave.
Well, there's your definition of more love. Just a little piece of love. Back to Hype Cave, back to Vegas. And yeah, you're right, Chad. There goes the dream of one sword on pedestal and the other two swords on the tablets. Well, good for our runners.
I mean, who wants to do that? I don't know anyone who wants to do that, except for Chad. All right, so Clifford coming here to Spike Cave, and it is just junk.
Why doesn't that surprise me? Wow, so generous, so generous.
Looks like Clifford's coming right over here, and he's going to turn that shovel in right away, or he's not. He's fluting.
Chad bringing up a very, very good point indeed. Ether Medallion was indeed in the big chest of Palace of Darkness, meaning it was sequence broken, so Shovel is also out of sequence.
That's a good point. Thank you, chat, for reminding us. That's, I mean, you can get really easily lost knowing that that is behind that dark room, so that is also sequence broken. Clifford now technically back in sequence for now, so we're not going to find at least the lamp at the shovel spot. Everything else could be there, though. Clifford now into Ice Palace. We'll be able to get a couple of treasures that PHatHome was not able to get. Keep in mind, when Phat came in here, he ended up being able to do only a handful of things. It was the hammer-locked locations were really what put PHatHome behind, and there was nothing else here.
Yeah, and Clifford will be able to full clear Ice Palace as he has the hammer to get to Cold Stare. Not sure if today's Ice Palace is hookshot locked. However, yeah, if some items are hookshot locked, but I'm assuming that Clifford also knows the bomb jumps here, so he'll probably be able to get all the three treasures. One of these treasures, however, only being a piece of heart, so we're still looking for two more. And I believe PHatHome also picked up a 300 rupee hoard, if I'm correct. Not sure.
So Swamp is a possibility. I still think, have we checked K45 yet?
Good question. We saw Graveyard Ledge, but I think Clifford already had the mirror and the flute, so he fluted with the purple chest. So no, I don't think we've seen K45 just yet.
Man, I am scared that something is in K45. And I think these runners should be too, because if something is there and neither of them have checked it for this long, it's been in logic for a while at this point in time, that could be all sorts of not good news. Oh, I'm seeing that Phat did check it. Okay, that's good.
And Clifford needs to be a little bit careful, only down to 1.5 hearts. And so that is where the Quake Medallion was. Useless in this seed, but it was in Ice Palace. Fortunately, Clifford has the powder, so he'll be able to powder some of these anti-fairies coming up here.
PHatHome looked like he took a death there, maybe to refill some hearts. Or he just, yeah, laser bridge. Clifford having a hard time here on this ice.
Yeah, without the boots, this is such a pain in the butt to do.
Meanwhile, Clifford is going to be going over here. I don't know how well Clifford knows this particular bomb jump. This is one of those bomb jumps, I'll fully admit, I think I need to personally get better at myself. It's one of the tougher bomb jumps in the game, but it is absolutely necessary, especially since it appears as though Ice Palace is hookshot locked as well, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I think it is, yes. And as for this bomb jump, it's actually not that hard once you get it down. I think Clifford just got it. No, not quite yet. There's a frame of, I think there's, yeah, you need to be on the utmost lower pixel with your shadow so that there's still one dark pixel visible. Put down the bomb and move a bit to the right and you should be able to get it. However, yeah, as you can see, it's very hard to line yourself up because you will fall down immediately once you go over that 1 pixel limit.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's something that I'm not quite good enough at, and Clifford is trying. I mean, bless his heart, he's trying, but it's not easy to get that close.
I think he got it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's on it.
Yeah, so there must be one very, very, very dark line of pixels being visible below Link's shadow. Put down a bomb and move yourself a bit to the right and you'll get it.
Clifford using that magic powder, putting it to good work there. He needed that health refill.
Yep, and same goes for PHatHome666. Also refilling his health using that powder. Trinex, he is, however, still on green tunic. He did not pick up the blue tunic just yet. So it's a little bit more scary for him. However, he's doing an amazing job already taking out that ice head. Prevents ice being spat on the ground and goes for the fire head right now. Also going for menuing strats, of course, having only the fighter sword.
All right, so far nothing in Ice Palace here for Clifford, even past the everything, but he did pick up the big key past the hammer lock location, so something could still possibly be in the big treasure chest.
Yeah, so after this, where do you go? Complete Palace of Darkness. Cannot get into Misery Mire just yet. Yeah, probably, I guess, Swamp Palace having the boots or the hookshot, granting you that entry into Misery Mire.
And PHatHome actually ended up having a really unfortunate thing. He ran out of magic on Trinex before he got it all down. Clifford does have half magic from a check that he made that PHatHome has not done. So PHatHome, unfortunately, had to mirror out. Now he looks like he's going to give it another shot, actually.
Yeah, it's a very, very long way back to get back here, and on 15 hearts should be doable, but yeah, the magic problem is something to keep in mind. Those heads can be a little bit trolly, especially with the ice rod shots, because ice rod shots have some lag in them. So if he gets them all right, it should be no problem, but let's pray for him that it all goes well this time.
Clifford, also without a magic refill, he might have to switch to hammer strats here. With blue mail, it's a little bit less intimidating than PHatHome's Trinex fight, but and he takes a death.
Yeah, unfortunately, taking a death here is a lot more costlier than taking a death to Trinex, having the safety door all the way back to the entrance of ice. And Clifford says, nope, I'll be back later.
And he's getting the flute. He's going to go refill on safeties at this point in time, which is smart at this point.
And wow, PHatHome666 taking a death this time at Trinex. This seed is all but friendly to our runners. And PHatHome, he goes for it. He's like, no, you're not gonna do this to me. I'm going for this. I don't care.
Well, when you've already full committed at this point in time, like, I'm sure he's wondering, oh my goodness. So that shovel, Sword of Evil's Bane, lying buried in the ground.
Yep, I guess we can call that the Master Shovel.
So, I mean, I'm sure he's happy to see that. Absolutely. But where's our progress? I mean, do you go back?
I mean, I'm not sure if there's an item left on Cold Stare. I think there's not. So what Clifford is doing here, going for the easy way, just clear out Pod first. And after Pod, my guess is really that our progression is hiding in Swamp Palace in the form of either the boots or the hookshot.
See, maybe, but the other thing that you have to keep in mind is we've defeated Clifford himself has defeated Skull Woods. Ice Palace is the other 5/6 crystal. Even if nothing is on the Cold Stare, you have those two items that you unlock in the Pyramid Fairy. Is that enough to pull you back?
Yeah, good point. Like, I was thinking if he defeated Cold Stare, my next bet was gonna be that he would go for that Pyramid Fairy play. But yeah, since he built out of Ice Palace, I'm really not sure what he's thinking right now. And yeah, PHatHome is having a lot of trouble with this Trinex fight, and I can only imagine what he's thinking right now. And I'd be also like, what do I do from here? Save and quit? Save and continue? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's thinking. I think he might even be just like trying to gather himself. This is the point of the randomizer where the mental game comes in. I mean, there's a mental aspect of knowing your logic and being able to go through, but there's also the mental aspect of when you do something wrong, when the stuff hits the fan, how short of a memory do you have? Can you kind of gather yourself up and say, I'm going to forget everything that just happened and I'm going to go back in there and kick butt? And that's what you got to do to yourself, because if you dwell too much on the mistakes that you make, they will do nothing but mess you up further.
Yeah, tilting yourself while playing Randomizer is not one of the best strategies, I can guarantee you. And being 1 hour and 30 minutes in already, yeah, your concentration drops drastically. I think the first 30 minutes, 1 hour, you're pretty much on the edge of your seat. You're still excited. You're feeling like, what is coming to get me this time? What is going to go well? What is not going to go well? But 1 hour and 30 minutes in, if this happens to you, Trinex is being as much as troll as he can be. Take a few deep breaths, refill your drink, and go for it again. Not tilting, and just hope for the best. And meanwhile, Clifford, having no trouble whatsoever using the fire rod here in the basement of Palace of Darkness, already reached Helmaster King, which will probably be a joke.
And Hill has silvers too, so this is going to be extra jokey.
Well, opting to go for the normal Master Sword slashes there. 8 slashes, and the beast goes down.
All right, so PHatHome is at 1 heart and is on the final phase of Trinex. Come on, focus. Focus. Every chat, get your love and support and energy to PHatHome.
Yes, you can really do it, PHatHome. I'm literally on the edge of my seat. You got this, buddy. You really got this.
He's playing it safe. He's doing good. He kept the floor clean, and he does it!
Yes!
Oh, yes! You can do it!
Good job! And I guess he's really, really happy with that reward, and a little bit surprised there himself, decides, oh man, I'll pick up the crystal after having just a few more deep breaths.
That's like, oh, okay. See, that's all it took, just a little bit of deep breathing.
Yes, just some deep breaths, another cup of coffee, and determination.
And the worst part, no progression there. So,
Yep.
So Clifford is on his way over now to check the combos tablet. Meanwhile, PHatHome is like, I have the hammer now. Let's go ahead and knock out some progression here.
Yeah, and this could also, of course, not be the lamp, as it's out of logic. Could have been the hookshot or the boots. However, we still need to find that lamp to get everything back on track.
Yeah, so at this point, it's got to be, you guys. Okay, so Clifford's going to go up here, check K45, which I believe, if chat's correct, PHatHome checked earlier. And we will be over here to swap probably shortly.
Yeah, we're really running out of options here. I believe Clifford did not check out the back of Thieves Town just yet. Only PHatHome cleared that out, so he might also be thinking about that. But it seems that he is going back for the Ice Palace play and go for the Fat Fairy crystals after that.
I was going to say, PHatHome had his problems with Trinex. With Clifford, Cold Stare, it's going to be personal.
Yep, are you ready for round 2?
Fight! Well, not
Fatality.
fight. Not yet. I mean, we...
Yeah, not yet. we get too excited.
It's real easy to get excited with the memes.
I mean, with a seat like this and preservation and determination like these runners have today, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for them too. I just wish we knew where the frig we were looking for.
Yep, the elusive progression, boots or hookshot.
Yeah, something to get us into Misery Mire. I think at this point you want to see the hook shot, so you're not hunting for it up in Tower of Ganon's Tower. But if it is the boots and that's a progression, do you go mode Misery Mire?
Very, very, very interesting question right there. What do you do when you get those boots? I guess go for the boots lock locations first. So a quick visit to the Bonk Rocks and the King's Tomb, and yeah, after that, yeah, do you go mode Misery Mire? Very interesting question. And if you see the hook shot, it could still be scary if that GT big key is actually on the torch.
Clifford almost walking off immediately after getting that bomb jump. I've done that a couple times myself. Meanwhile, Fat Home is using bomb strats? He's just going for swag now. He's just showing off.
Oh, and he's showing off well. Look at that. Mask goes down.
Wow!
Like, wow. I've never, ever, ever had a Helmsor King fight that swag.
Man, that is swagalicious.
Yes, it was.
And I honestly think that was actually pretty fast, all things considered, because the bombs do quite a bit of damage, it looked like.
I mean, everything was calculated so well. That last bomb switching to the silver arrows, shooting off that silver arrow before the mask was even off, like calculating that lag of the silver arrow. Man, amazing. And Fat is on fire. He mirrored back straight to Eastern Palace, decides to finish that off. Will not be finding his progression, but will probably be picking up his half magic, making the Cold Stare fight a lot easier, as Clifford is showcasing here with the fire rod shots.
Also doing some extra damage with that Master Sword there. Gets at least... Oh, there's two! And can he get... And does a third one. That's actually a really nice Cold Stare fight. Gets his revenge. It is just a key. So he gets the other crystal. I imagine we are going to see the Pyramid Fairy shortly.
Yep, Ultra Combo on Cold Stare, as people would say in Killer Instinct. Well, that's a whole different game. Let's go for Pyramid Fairy and hope our progression will be there.
The Pyramid Fairy, should be noted, is still in logic, because everything we need to get to defeat both Swamp Palace and Ice Palace is in logic. So, worth noting in that. We've done some sequence breaks through Turtle Rock, kind of lost track of some things here and there, but worth noting that this is not one. Another thing worth noting is that Fat Home will be able to get a slight advantage here. Clifford did have to use regular arrows when he did Armos Knights. Fat Home with silvers. Don't blink, you might miss this. If you blinked, you missed it.
I did.
All right, so Clifford is taking the big bomb up to the pyramid. PHatHome is going to go check this pendant. Oh man, progression isn't here, man. I'm sorry.
Yep, your progression is in another castle. We're very sorry. However, Half Magic, I hope it leads you to Ice Palace and beat it, get another crystal. He also still has to do the Skullwoods crystal, and Clifford finding a nice tempered sword, but no progression yet so far.
It's got to be in Swamp. Swamp is it. Swamp has to be it.
Oh wow, Pendant Swamp. Why?
I mean, that's version 29 is really interesting because you cannot have like a general rule of always do your pendant dungeons or never do your pendant dungeons or anything like that. Like, it's completely random, which is how it should be, but it drives everyone crazy.
Oh yeah, this is well, a very real version of everything being randomized. The logic really does not care if something is put or in a required dungeon or a pendant unrequired dungeon. It really doesn't matter. It can still be on bosses of pendant dungeons. It could be on the green pendant Sahajwala. It really does not matter. So yeah, fun for chat to watch, not as fun for our runners. And Clifford, unfortunately, first going for the Thieves Town back part play. And PHatHome, fortunately, picking up his Master Sword, will be happy and doing some more digs of hope, digs of pleasure, digs of enjoy. I'm not sure.
And yeah, to point out in chat, the pedestal is absolutely dead. We know what's required to get into Misery Mire. The only thing that we're looking for right now is either the boots or the hook shot in order to get into Misery Mire at this point in time. And we require the hook shot to complete Swamp Palace. So at this point in time, if we get the hook shot, we're in go mode and we go ahead and complete everything. Nothing is on the pedestal that we would be even remotely interested in.
Yes, unless the big key in Genus Tower is on the torch and the boots are on pedestal, which of course we do not really hope to see for our runners.
No, we don't want to see that. Okay, so yeah, it's like a 0.0014% or whatever it is that setup is required.
Yeah, and I have a gut feeling we'll be finding out very soon what is on pedestal, as PHatHome is making the play into Skull Woods, but he has the mirror and the book in hand, so he might go for a pedestal check after clearing out Skull Woods here.
He might not, because keep in mind, he knows what his go mode item is, and he might look at it and go, no, if the only item I need for go mode is on the can't be on the pedestal, then that's fine. I'm going home.
Yeah, you're right about that. With only hookshot being the one item you're searching for, and you know that Swamp Palace is that pendant, yeah, you're 99% sure that pedestal isn't required, as you said, yeah, with that slight, very slight chance of 0.00000% of boots being on pedestal and boots being required in Genus Tower.
All right, so dueling bosses, we got a Mothula fight and a blind fight. PHatHome does make pretty quick work of Mothula. He wastes a little bit of magic. That's fine, I guess. letting some frustration out, maybe calming down a little bit. Clifford does beat blind very nicely. And yeah, PHatHome is taking off here. Clifford gets his heart refill, disappointed he did not find anything he was looking for. And Clifford, you gotta, come on, Clifford, make the play. We're waiting. Swamp Palace or these, okay, hammer pegs. Okay, I guess that's.
Yeah, hammer pegs seems like a fair choice. And yeah, PHatHome going for that other Pyramid Fairy Crystal. He's feeling it. He has to go to Ice Palace, but will be quite disappointed once he sees that it's nothing. Well, however, he'll be rewarded with his 6th crystal, of course, which is required anyway.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
There's our hook shot. So
Okay.
Clifford is officially in go mode. He is going to flute over. He's probably feeling horribly behind right now. Not touching Swamp Palace. Thank goodness.
Oh, that's such a good call from him. And yeah, I've got it all wrong the whole time, seems. But technically speaking, Clifford is still in, I think, 95.6% go mode. If we're still talking about the GT Big Key being on Torch.
Yeah, the Ganon Tower Big Key can still be on Torch, which would require the boots. That's a very low percent chance as a general rule. Even lower if you said, okay, then we have to go find the boots. I know Chad is hoping, hey, boots on pedestal, right? Which is even lower because then you have to multiply 4.5% of it being on there times the percent chance that boots are on the pedestal with all the item locations that are left. It's a small percent.
Yeah, but looking at this seed, I wouldn't be surprised if the GT Big Key is on the Torch. However, there's a big chance that the boots will be hiding in Ganon's Tower then as well, so wouldn't be that much of a problem, but it's still very, very scary to see it. So yeah, let's see if Clifford decides to go mode Misery Mire, looking for that big key in one of the first chests coming up here. If it's this chest up here or the chest in the next room, it will be a God Mire, picking up that small key from the pot. He'll be able to go straight to Vitreous, getting his 7th crystal and go to Ganon's Tower. And there is our first item, the Bug Net.
That's absolutely required. Now we can beat Aghanim. That's okay. That's sarcasm. I forgot. You guys can't read my sarcasm face.
Well, I mean, PHatHome is showing us those swag strats, so we could very well be seeing some swag in him in the Ganon's Tower. And Clifford getting that God Mire here, going straight for Vitreous.
Absolutely. Now, you got to wonder how well Clifford knows these dark rooms. We've seen him struggle with some other dark rooms, and this is a slightly more difficult dark room than I think the Palace of Darkness maze. So keep an eye on Clifford's hearts as he's going through here.
Yeah, the big problem here in these dark rooms is that there are no torches, so you will not be able to make advantage of using those fire rod strats. But it seems that Clifford gets it very, very nicely done, picking up that skull, putting down the block, and advances to the 2nd and 3rd dark room here. Very nicely done.
There's got to be a setup for that people are using that I need to learn because they're just going so smooth. And as we've seen, hunting for lamp as your go mode item is not something that you want to have to do.
Yeah, well, the first room here in Misery Mire is actually not that difficult if you know what you're doing. If you have the boots or a sword to light your way, you can just go up to the skull. You can pick up the skull, throw it away, put down the block, walk all the way down to the bottom of the screen, walk a bit right, and throw the block upwards, and you will almost always hit it. It's one of the better strats, I think, for that room.
Well, I will have to learn that myself.
Well, as you see, if the lamp is trolling you as it is with these runners today, it's a very, very handy skill to have. I can tell you that. And Clifford having those silver arrows, if you blink with your eyes, with most of the bosses, with some of the bosses we've already seen, Vitreous will be gone. Already downing all these 8 eyes, and only the big eyeball left. Down goes Vitreous.
Absolutely, that was a blink and miss at Vitreous. But, ladies and gentlemen in chat, I direct your attention to chat. We shall begin the world-famous speed gaming Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game. There are 22 treasure chests, or treasure locations rather, in Ganon's Tower that could possibly contain the Ganon's Tower Big Key to allow us to ascend the tower and complete the game. 1 through 22, get your guesses in chat. They will be in order of where Clifford opens them. If you are a subscriber to Speed Gaming, either 1 through 6 to any of the Speed Gaming channels, or you have donated at least 250 bits, you will be entered into our leaderboard if you were the first one to guess a number. So, 1 through 22, my good friend Plus Hayabusa, what's going to be your guess?
Very, very, very good question. The thing is, usually I go for the torch. However, I really feel so bad for Clifford and for PHatHome666. So I really want to see it to be generous from now. Like, see it apologize to us. I want to see it in chest number 1.
See, chat is really hoping for number 3. And it's been a while since I've seen a number 3, so I'm going to go ahead and guess number 3 with you, chat. I'm right there with you. We're at 2 hours. We're ready for it. Let's keep going.
Yeah, well, I mean, fair point. If it is actually in the torch, we still have a very, very big race on our hands, because right now Clifford definitely has a lead, as PHatHome just picks up his 6th crystal and does not know yet where the hookshot is. So for the sake of the race, yes, 3 would be a number. For Clifford's sake, no.
Yeah, if it's not number 3, Clifford has a sizable lead. If it is number 3, then who knows?
And me hoping for number 1. I really hope that Clifford goes for those 2 treasure chests on the right side first, because number 1 is the key on the torch if he decides to go for the left side. So I'm going for number 1, as in the 2 chests on the right side. And as Clifford is heading into Ganon's Tower, we will stop the big key guessing game very shortly.
All right, so here we go, diving in. These first 2 treasure chests. Nope. And they are neither keys, so this does kind of force you to go to the left side. Clifford, we'll see what we have.
I saw something yellow. But we are safe. 100% go mode for Clifford.
Yep, that 4.5% didn't quite come through for Clifford, unfortunately. So we are in go mode, and I'm sure he's a little bit at least happy to see that.
Yeah, it's always such a scary thought without the boots to enter Ganon's Tower. However, in some instances, we will still find those boots somewhere here, which could still come in handy, because some of these bridges here on the top floors of Ganon's Tower, without the boots and without safety, is not very nice to do. And PHatHome making the correct call, picking up his hookshot, and is in go mode.
Meanwhile, Clifford does pick up the Cane of Burna, the blue cane, which is the superior cane in the game. I don't care what anyone tells you.
Yeah, if you prefer laggy, it definitely is.
True story. I believe the Cane of Samaria is only good for killing one boss, while the Cane of Berna is good for killing two.
You caught my attention.
Yeah, both canes are great at killing blind, but the Cane of Berna actually also damages land molus.
Yes, and I think you have a first-hand experience with that in this tournament, am I right?
Yeah, there was a required... Oh, and there's the big key! That was number 10, actually. So before I get to my story, that is number 10 for the big key. Yeah, we didn't miss Boots. We saw him.
And Clifford down to 2.5 hearts, doubting, should I already make use of that blue potion? But decides to keep going, maybe hoping for the safety room, but there's another heart, so he'll be feeling a bit more safe.
PHatHome is going to be very close to his Godmire completion here before too long.
Yep, and Clifford deciding to go for that safety room here. And yeah, he needs those boots to actually bonk himself across that little bridge over there. And that is what Vitasia was talking about, as the developers probably intended to get there using bonks, as well as here in the logic of Randomizer, being able to bonk yourself into Misery Mire or to the first chest in Hookshot Cave.
So chat pointing out, with PHatHome now in Go mode, he did not pick up the blue mail, which was in Catfish. He also is not likely going to go to the Pyramid Fairy to get his Tempered Sword. So PHatHome, Clifford is going to be able to do, blue mail, Tempered Sword, silvers, which is pretty standard. I mean, something that you should expect to do, and probably are the default in practice. PHatHome is going to be doing Master Sword, Green Mail Ganon, if he doesn't find anything else, which is significantly less fun.
Yeah, that is a very good point, and it seems that PHatHome is also having a little bit of difficulties here in the Mire Dark Rooms, only down to 2 hearts. He's not really able to find that position to place the block on to get the switch down. Opts to use his blue potion, just wants to get done and over with. He decides to walk and do the throw, which I described just a few seconds ago, and he gets it.
So PHatHome working through these dark rooms here. Looks like he's got kind of a good roll going. Clifford is on his way up. He's getting ready for this collapsing room. He does have the keys necessary to go ahead and complete.
Yep, needs to pick up one more key here from the mini helmet stores to make his way through the last couple of rooms here. Decides to just ignore these chests. Yeah, he's not looking for anything else. Tempered Sword, Silver Arrows. Ganon will be roasted soon.
Roast pig, my favorite.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the climate over there where you're at, Vatasia, but here where I'm at, very nice weather these days. Being able to barbecue some, yeah, pig roasting, you can call me whenever.
See, for those Americans out there, I'm Kansan, so we do what we like to call throwing it down on the grill. I got myself a smoker. I might go get myself some pork butt this weekend. That sounds like a good idea.
Well, Clifford is gonna help you with that in, I'd say about a minute or two.
Oh, this is a real friendly Agadim setup there.
Yeah, gets a nice double there. Another very generous pattern. I think that was another double. And there we go.
So Clifford is on his way to Mr. Blue Bacon himself. Meanwhile, PHatHome stocking up on safeties before he tackles Ganon's tower directly. Don't stand so close to me.
Back off, buddy.
See, it's a song by the Police. Does no one else listen to 80s music?
I like the Police. I mean, Message in the Bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, and Clifford making very, 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 very short work here of Ganon, already into phase 3, and Ganon teleports, come on. Yes, very nice piggy.
Meanwhile, PHatHome is on his way, getting ready to enter Ganon's tower. Ganon running away a little bit here, just teleporting back and forth.
Well, he's just postponing the barbecue. He knows it's inevitable. Yes, and gets his first silver hour shot in there, lighting those torches, sets up for a nice double there.
Oh, that was a very nice. He kind of got the perfect timing there for Ganon and gets the fourth. Very well done by Clifford.
Yeah, GG to Clifford. Get your GGs in chat. What a performance on a seed like this. Wow.
Absolutely. That was not a very nice seed for either of these runners. And Clifford does finish with an official speed racing TV time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 25 seconds. GG, Clifford. We'll see if we can't get him in here for a chat. Meanwhile, PHatHome is going to be dipping over here to the right side first through his Ganon Tower check. The unfortunate thing is there's no key over here, so he's going to be forced to go to the right or left. The nice thing is it's relatively early. What would we say? It was like chest 10? First chest in the rando room?
Yes, it was chest number 10. The most unfortunate thing is that he will not be finding a sword upgrade, and we also know where both mill upgrades are, so I really wish him the best. He of course picked up the blue potion from the witch's hut, and he'll be able to powder those anti-fairies, having the powder in hand, so he should be fine, I guess.
I mean, he'll be okay. It's not the best thing you ever want to do. Master Sword Ganon is probably the least fun fight ever. Luckily, he has silver, so that'll make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, not having to worry about the torch glitch with Yeah, only one potion in hand. Yeah, will probably relieve him a lot.
And joining us now is Clifford. GG, sir. How do you feel after that scene?
Yeah, GG, Clifford.
And he can't hear, so I will restate everything that I just said shortly. GG, Clifford, can you hear us now? I see you lighting up, but I do not hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, there you are.
Loud and clear.
Success.
GG.
Had a bit of a Windows update about a half hour before this thing, and it screwed up all my audio, everything.
Oh, that stinks. But so what was worse, the Windows update or this scene?
Man, like when I died going to Hyde Cave, I thought, okay, well, now I gotta really get back over there, because my plan was to go straight to pod at that point, like, because that would be the worst thing the seed could possibly throw at me, was the hammer in pod at that point. Then it wasn't. Then it was the mirror to go get the hammer, and then the hammer to find the hook shot after doing literally everything else except for Swamp Palace. What a beating. Hook shot for go mode and boots in Ganon's tower. Can't go fast hardly at all, just walking around everywhere.
Well, and it was kind of interesting because we're like, where's our access to Misery Mire? We know what medallion it is, and we figured out that eventually something's got to be in Swamp Palace. We figured the lamp is still there. PHatHome has not found it either.
Yeah, the lamp's got to be in Swamp, or I guess it could technically be in Hookshot Cave, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if this scene really wanted to pull you around.
Yeah, PHatHome just checked out all the chests in Hookshot Cave before entering Ganon's tower, so we know it's not there. So it must have been Swamp Palace.
Okay.
So how did you feel after taking a death at Cold Stare as well?
Oh, taking the death at Cold Stare just put me on so much tilt, because especially finding the sword immediately afterwards, because in my whole routing in my head, okay, after I get done in Turtle Rock, I'm going to go check the shovel before I do anything else. Then, okay, I have the book, all right? And then just everything else that got shown up there sent me straight to ice. And I meant to go check the shovel before going to ice, and that was a huge mistake, because I hate Fighter Sword Cold Stare. I hate it. But then I got to looking at it more and thinking, well, I don't know if Cold Stare is technically hook shot locked, so I need to go back and check so I can go to the Pyramid Fairy, but I don't think the hook shot could have been there. The boots could have, but I'm not 100% sure that was even the right play at that point either.
Yeah, we believe Ice Palace was technically hookshot locked. However, finding the tempered sword at the the Pyramid Fairy Cave was a very nice present for you, as PHatHome here is tackling Ganon's tower with just the Master Sword.
Yeah, I thought going into the tower that I probably found both of those swords, and he would probably find one of them, but probably wouldn't get both. But that all really depends on how the routing goes. Was Hookshot his go mode also?
That is correct.
Yeah, it was. It was such kind of an out of the way location, and they made you go over there after everything out. Like, there was no reason to go back there except for that one location. So it felt like kind of an out of the way thing. Maybe one last thing you check before you finally dip Swamp, and luckily it was there.
Yeah, I did not want to go into Swamp. Not even a little bit.
We could tell. It's okay.
It's my least favorite of all of the dungeons, especially without the hook shot. It's just so slow waiting on all of the water to drain. I hate it. Almost as much as Fighter Sword Gold Stare.
So did this seed just throw literally everything at you that you did not want to do?
Almost. I felt a little silly getting caught up in Turtle Rock in that dark room, going around in circles, waiting for the Benny Hill music to play. But outside of that, you know, seed was fine.
Well, GG on your win. You do move on to 3 and 2, so you keep over 500. More importantly, you stay alive for the grand finale bracket. What are your thoughts, kind of, on the tournament? Are you hoping to stay alive and keep going, or what's your plan?
When I joined the tournament, my goal was to end with a positive Swiss record. I would love to make brackets, but just if I can end positive, that would be happy for me.
And PHatHome, meanwhile, here in Aghanim, and he's using the Swagnet threads, and I believe he just
got a triple with Swagnet threads.
Awesome.
So I want you to know, like, you are one of the most recognized names in the randomizer community, or really even the speed gaming community. You've been around for a bit. PHatHome had enough swag strats that, I mean, he did bombs Helmasaur. He just did Aghanim with the bug net. He also had kind of
swag.
All the swag, and he also had like 3 or 4 deaths on Train-X and just kept at it. So he finally killed him with 1 heart left on like his 4th try. So chat was really rooting for him. I'm sorry to say.
Awesome. Hey, that's fine. I want everybody to have a good time and root for everybody. Like, as long as you're not rooting against people, that's what matters, right? It's us against the seed more than it is us against each other.
That is a very zen way to look at it, and I will try to think of it that way next time. Thank you, sir.
That's how I always look at it. It's me against the seed first, and then everything else is secondary to that.
All right, as we're waiting for Home to finish up, do you have any kind of last-minute thoughts on the seed? Any questions for us about routing decisions or things we may have seen or not?
No, I'll let you guys call this Ganon fight. Let him finish strong.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so once again, Clifford here. If you liked what you saw from him, go ahead. Feel free to give him a follow here on Twitch. It's running for our entertainment here. GG, Clifford.
Thank you guys for the commentary. I'll step aside now.
Yeah, thank you, Clifford. Yeah, once again, congratulations. Moving on into the tournament, and hope you're gonna do fine. The road lies ahead for you, and yeah, let's see if PHatHome also is able to finish this seed. Unfortunately, taking a death so far, Ganon, and going strong. However, going strong. He is very determined.
And another death. Keep in mind, there is a fairy down in this tree. If he doesn't fall down right away, yeah, go get the safety fairy, man. Keep in mind, remember, PHatHome, you can't tell right now because he's the key sprite, but he only has green mail. So Ganon hugs are deadly.
Yes, 8 hearts, and he only has 15, so 2 Ganon hugs and it's over.
His trident does quite a bit of damage too. All right, here we go. Man, I just wish he could go down and bomb through that wall. Just, it's right there. My God.
I mean, he's a key. Just use your key on Ganon's nose as like a keyhole, and I'm sure he'll be able to open it up.
I don't know if that's how keys work.
Well, it's the big key of Evil's Bane.
Oh, there's some damage.
Nice shot strap.
Oh man, does he have a safety?
I think he has a blue potion, yeah.
They only found one bottle through all of this?
Oh yeah, the seeds. Don't get me started.
He gets a good setup. He's using cape strats here for some spins. Very nicely done, PHatHome, if he can keep going. So he is on phase 3 now, which is absolutely great. Alright, second one, and he is still teleporting around like crazy.
Yeah, wow, the first time was bad already, but he took a death and Ganon resets his patterns, and this pattern is even worse. Ganon is not playing friendly with those teleports there.
Oh, and PHatHome does get the torch glitch. That's a great torch glitch there. It's hard to do that with the fire rod, and gets a double.
Yep, just one more hit away. There we go! The big blue pig is down on PHatHome's side. GG, what a race, what a performance, and what a swag. You have my respects, buddy.
Yeah, and GG to PHatHome666. He is entering now. He completes with an official time of 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 20 seconds. GG, PHatHome666.
And what does the seed say? The value. What value? We've been looking all over the place.
See, you could say that the seed was a little bit like a circus driving everyone around. So in that case, you can call this the circus of value.
That's the point to put it. And I think we are joined by PHatHome666 in chat. GG.
I think this was the worst time to come in. I just heard that joke.
It was a horrible joke. You have to admit, it was horrible.
GG.
GG's.
So first question is, chat wants us to ask how to actually pronounce your name because
I'm sure you guys had fun. When I first made it, really wasn't made to be pronounced. So honestly, just have at it. I've heard variation upon variation, so I don't really care. Please have fun with it.
Okay, so you're PHatHome, so we'll just go with that.
All right.
So let's talk about just a little bit of everything here. Let's start with Trinex.
I'd rather not.
Well, yes, you struggled a little bit, but man, the perseverance, and then you clutch it out with a 1 heart kill. one, GG on that, but two, it felt like that you had made the decision to go ahead and do this. So, come hell or high water, you were going to get this thing down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I could beat it, and with the door there, I just kind of stuck through it. I know I could do it. It's just very tight on magic, especially because I had an empty bottle. It's just very unfortunate the way I played this.
Well, and then you had and then it felt like you're like, okay, well, we're gonna pull out all the swag strats, because if I can't win the race because of Trinex, I'm gonna do everything to win everyone over in chat, because you did bombs, Helmasaur King, which, by the way, I think is actually faster. That was the fastest I've ever seen anyone do that.
If you do it with 5 bombs and then the silver arrow, I'm pretty sure it's close. So.
And then the Aghanim 2 strats with the bug net, which you got a triple.
I almost had a. I think I could have had the double triple there.
I saw the first triple. That was pretty awesome.
At least I got 1 triple, so I'll take that.
Yeah, I believe Aga 2 actually shot a blue ball at you in the second string of attacks. So a triple would have been impossible. However,
no, I believe
you definitely won the hearts of the crowd, because everybody was cheering you on, and you had an amazing execution actually at the end of Ganon's Tower before Aghanim 2.
Yeah.
So this might be a question for both of you. Kind of, what's your mindset going through, not seeing the other runner done? You're searching around for this go mode item. Neither of you have the lamp, and you find the hook shot in a location that probably you guys could have checked a lot sooner. It was out of the way based on the runs that each of you made, but it was available to you for a while.
I'm sure it was available. Has just Swamp not been checked at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, that's probably where it is.
Well, I mean, hook shot. I mean, when you were for the hook shot specifically?
The hook shot, man, that was Peg Cave. So I had a lot on my mind once I got the hammer, because that was one of the things that really held me back from doing anything really. But is both the hammer and the hookshot both items that I really want to have early on.
So I do want to let you know, PHatHome, that you did an amazing Ganon fight there. Master Sword, Green Mail. You could have had a little bit easier time.
I'm sure.
The Tempered Sword was in the Pyramid Fairy, which Clifford checked immediately after clearing Ice Palace. It did the Skullwoods Ice Palace combo.
I died at Cold Stare and then was freaked out about it because there were those 2 items, so almost immediately went back and tried it again after I beat. I went to Pod and then went back to Ice and then went to the Pyramid.
Yeah, I completely forgot to check Pyramid Fairy, so at that point I was pretty much just on the way to completing dungeons, and then I was fine with just Master Sword at that point.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think at a certain point, you just have to be okay with it.
Yeah, I think the only thing we really went out of the way for just the checking Hookshot Cave, because it was right there, and that was it.
Yeah, and the other item, the armor upgrade, there was one on Library Ledge that no one was going to get ever because Boots decided to see a game. But the other one was over there on Catfish.
Okay. Yeah, I would have liked that. It would have helped me out a little bit, couple fights,
Maybe a few times, Ganon Hugs doing 8 hearts of damage probably
Yeah,
wasn't beneficial.
I didn't even know he did that much damage with Hugs. So now I know.
And knowing is half the battle.
I don't even my mind at one point was just so confused into what the sequence was because I was doing things out of order everywhere.
Somewhere the lamp is in Swamp Palace, and who knows? That's got to be the only place left on the map it can be. Looking at it logically.
Mm-hmm.
Because I cleared everything else.
Yeah, I think between the two of you, you cleared everything else, so it's got to be somewhere in Swamp Palace. It's, which is too bad. So I'm going to take the blame on that one because I just came from commentating another seed where Lamp was the go mode item at the very end of it all. So blame me if you guys want to. I'm fine with that.
I'll think about it. What a seed.
Yeah, absolutely. But GG to both Clifford and PHatHome666. Do you guys have any other kind of last minute thoughts or comments about the seed in general or the tournament or anything like that?
No, just thanks for the race, and thank you guys for commentating and tracking and everything. I know it's not the easiest thing watching me play, but
I mean, it could be worse. It could be watching me play, so.
I mean, us together, hey. At least I hope you guys made it interesting for everybody else.
I tried.
There may or may not have been some singing. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh. I need to watch this then. But yeah.
And Clifford immediately then bans me from ever doing anything ever.
No, I wouldn't do that. Not immediate.
Has to review it first and then take action.
That's fair. Stay tuned though, guys. There's still plenty of randomizer action going on for us tonight. It started about a half hour ago. We have 2 very, very high races. Elminster RTA versus Jet 082 is going on ALTTP Randomizer. That's hype. And something even more hype, I think. We have Andy versus Pryor 57 going on at ALTTP Rando 2. I might have to multi-twitch this. It's going to be amazing. Starting in about a half hour at 9 o'clock here on Speed Gaming 3, we're going to have Zyrak versus Hippo. So that's going to be a pretty hype race. At 10 o'clock Eastern, we also have Mentos Man versus its Supercar on Speed Gaming 1. We have Poochie Darcy versus Myriad Chain on Speed Gaming 4. At 11 o'clock Eastern, we have Cobb La 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 versus Ganon's Gone Wild on Speed Gaming 5. There is still so much randomizer going on tonight. Hold on to your butts. It's going to be a wild ride.
So much rando.
Remember,
There
kids,
is-
practice your Ice Palace bomb jumps.
Both of them.
All of them.
Yeah, I guess
all of I mean, I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah.
Just not talk about that.
So that's going to go ahead and do it for those of us here at Speed Gaming. Remember, check out the other ALTTP channels for all of your randomizer action. Go ahead and follow us here at Speed Gaming 1 through 6, also ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. That's going to do it for us. Another shout out to our wonderful tracker, Erifram, usually behind the mic, decided to track for us tonight. Thank you so much, Erifram. Also, my wonderful co-commentator, Kless Hayabusa. Thank you so much, man. It's always a pleasure to commentate with you.
Yeah, same here, Vitasia. I definitely had a blast today watching this race between Clifford and PHatHome. Both of these runners put up an amazing show. And yeah, please don't forget to give these runners a follow if you haven't already. And I really hope to see you guys soon in another tournament match. And yeah, well, as you know, we're only in Swiss round 5, so still a lot more randomizer matches coming up. See you next time, and have a very, very good day or night or wherever you're from.
Peace.